What's going on, Laker Nation? It's your boy Mees back at it again. Check it out. Let's get right into it. I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't want to make this video. I really didn't. I didn't want to make this video. In fact, I didn't want to do anything on my Laker channel whatsoever until I felt like the product on the floor was worth talking about. You know, like to the point we had some excitement in the building worth even addressing. And as you can see, that ain't happening. In fact, it's kind of gotten to the point it's feeling like Groundhog Day, where like we're repeating the same day over and over and over with every loss, every loss, every loss. And it's like, it's gotten to the point I'm feeling as a fan a little disrespected. You know what I mean? I feel like as a fan, I'm not being heard, or we're just not being listened to, or even cared about how we feel regarding the product on the floor. You know, like we're paying customers. We pay through ticket sales, merchandising. Heck, I don't even watch TV, but I got the cable just so my kids can watch Laker games. You know what I mean? It's like I'm paying for this. So it's got me a little bit in my feelings. Like, okay, something needs to be done, addressed, like a press conference to speak on what's going on. It's not as if we suck as a team, the roster. If I hear that roster construction comment again, I'm gonna lose it. It's quite evident if I can sit in my living room and see exactly and identify exactly what's going on the floor and with the team, but no one in management can. That's a problem. And so I felt the need to record this and hopefully get this message out. I wanted to direct this straight towards management, the wonderful Miss Jeanie Buss, hoping that there's a chance that if this can be heard, you know, if I can speak for all the Laker Nation, then so be it. If not, it is what it is. But I figure, hey, it's worth a shot because what's going on the floor is so easily identifiable. I just can't fathom how no one in the office is sitting down and breaking down what I'm about to break down and is not speaking this directly to management as this is the problem. And not only is this the problem, it's an easy fix, and it should have been fixed months ago. In fact, seasons ago. So let me get into this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take you down to the past, and then I'm gonna bring you back to current, so we can break down what's going on with this team. All right. So here we go. First, I'm going to bring you back to the final championship team with Phil Jackson and Kobe Bryant. That team consisted of Paul Gasol, Andrew Bynum, Metta World Peace, Kobe Bryant, and Derek Fisher. Now, if you notice, no one was sitting there yelling, what about the floor spacing? What about the floor spacing? That wasn't an issue. Why? Because we had an elite level coach that knew how to put the players in position to succeed. You understand? That team was built to be big, strong, physical, rebounding, defense, tough, interior. We beat teams up from the inside out. That was our strength. That is how we were built. And there was no team in the league that can match that. That's how we dominate our way into championships, okay? Now, let's fast forward to a couple seasons after that. The roster consisting of Steve Nash, Kobe Bryant, Metta World Peace, Dwight Howard, and Paul Gasol. Once again, we have a big team, very similar to this team prior to that won the title, full of strength, toughness, rebounding, defense. So much so to the point that the entire Laker Nation was bubbling and rumbling about, could Phil Jackson be returning to coach this team? Lo and behold, all of Laker Nation was met with shock when ESPN broke the news of not Phil Jackson, but Mike D'Antoni being announced as the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Why? How? None of us could answer that question, but management felt that was the direction they needed to go with this team full of bigs. Mr. Small Ball 3-point shooting coach to coach this team. To no one's surprise, this team struggled right out the gate. A lot of players rumbled and murmured about their role on the team, led by Mr. Paul Gasol himself. Basically let it be known, I'm not no stretch four. Like, what are you doing? This isn't my game. This is not how I play. Well, unfortunately, we had already gotten rid of Mike Brown early in the season after a horrible preseason. And what did he coach? 5 games. So it's not like they were going to fire D'Antoni during the season, which I understand. You don't want to go through 2 coaches in a season. Cool. But since that was the decision, we had to suffer through a horrible year in which we got smacked left and right because why? The players were misutilized and mismanaged and forced to be in a wrong system. What this does is it puts an overbearing burden on the star, being Kobe, being Bryant, to have to carry the team just for us to get into the playoffs. Now, if you don't recognize that in connection with LeBron today, then you're not watching the game. Now, let's take that information and fast forward to today. We now have a roster consisting of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, Russell Westbrook, Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, and so on and so forth. This is a team, once again, that is built to play big, physical, tough, paint presence, rebounding, shot blocking, the whole deal, just like we had back in the day. But once again, we're sitting here stuck with a coach determined to force this small ball 3-point shooting crap on the wrong roster. The guy is a bad coach, period. He does not know how to utilize the strength of the team, which is its size. This is a big, physical, tough team. They should be playing from the inside out. That's the strength of the team. He's a bad coach. He has no clue of how to utilize the lineup we have. You have LeBron and Anthony Davis on your roster, and they don't even have a 2-man game. You have arguably the best passer in NBA history with one of the best finishing rolling big men in the game. And you have not identified that, wow, we should base our entire offense around LeBron and Anthony Davis' pick and roll attack. You utilize LeBron's passing skills and Anthony Davis rolling to the basket. That would be the most unguardable weapon in NBA history. And we don't even utilize it. Understand something. Anthony Davis is not a center that you throw the ball to and you watch him back you down on a block and jump hook you. That's not his game. He's a power forward. He dominates the game by running pick and roll action. You want him driving to the basket. If you looked at the last night's game against Atlanta, all in the 4th quarter, what do we got? AD standing on the perimeter, jacking up jumper after jumper after jumper. Why do I have to break that down? Because clearly no one in management has connected the dots that the coach is running the wrong system for the team. This is not a small ball 3-point shooting roster. This is a roster that should be playing big, physical, tough basketball, rebounding, shot blocking, pick and roll. And you're telling me no one in Lakers management has identified this and said, we're running the wrong offensive system for this team. That is why we're struggling. I'm be totally honest. This is some of the worst coaching I have witnessed, arguably in any sport, in my 40-some-odd years on this planet. I mean, the lineups that this man continues to put out on the floor make no sense whatsoever. Taking out a player when he gets hot. I mean, and Vogel's been known for that. That on Twitter is called a Vogelism. Whenever a player gets hot and he's removed from the game, that is now called a Vogelism. It's gotten that bad. The inconsistent rotations, the lineups this man continues to put on the floor. I mean, all the talking heads have been making a point of why is Rondo and Russell playing on the floor at the same time. And yet he continues to do it. Going small when you need rebounds, his rotations, his starting lineups, horrible in-game adjustments. Every coach that plays us eats Frank Vogel alive. I can't remember a game offhand in which Frank has outcoached the opposing team. And please miss me with the Frank coached us to a championship. That championship was won based on the pure talent of LeBron James. As you can see now, the only games we win are the games that LeBron goes off or we're hot from the three ball. It has nothing to do with Frank Vogel's coaching. So please miss me with the Frank coached us to a title. No, he did not. His so-called level of coaching is not why we won the title. This dude is terrible as a coach. He has no locker room presence. The players don't respect him. It's obvious when you watch the game that they are not playing for him. How do you have a game in which we're doubled in rebound? Who is that, against the Memphis Grizzlies? And you have the media asking Frank, were you tempted to put Dwight into the game so that you can help out on the rebounding disparity? This man says, no, I wanted the team to get used to playing small. I didn't want to bail them out by putting in a big. So, okay, that's your coaching decision. Stupid, but okay. So then why the very next night you decide to play Dwight 20 some odd minutes in which he drops 14 and 14 and dominates the game that he's very capable of doing. And then the very next night you don't play him again and we get killed on the boards. In addition to all these players, we add the great Isaiah Thomas to a 10-day contract. One night after dropping 42 points in the G League. Fans going crazy, excited to see what he can do. Now, mind you, Rajon Rondo has been on the bench for several weeks prior to the signing of Isaiah Thomas. On the day Isaiah Thomas makes his Laker debut after dropping 42 points in the G League as a point guard, that is the day Vogel decides, I'm going to bring back Rondo and have him, Isaiah Thomas, and Russell Westbrook form a three-guard small ball lineup. It's embarrassing at this point how mismanaged and horribly coached this team is. I don't get it. I, for the life of me, don't get it. And I don't understand why no one in management has clearly identified the things I just broke down and say, oh, what we need is a head coaching change. Like, at what point is enough enough? Like, we need Laker management to do something. Now, this team should be an offensive juggernaut with the right coach. Now, who is the right coach, you ask? I'll break it down because it's quite simple. This team lacks passion. This team lacks motivation. It's clear as day they've tuned the coach out. They're not even responding to him. Let me break down something where you can take it controversial or however you want to take it. This is Los Angeles, the city of stars. You want a coach that can walk into this locker room and command the respect of the team. A coach that the team will unite behind and rally behind and run through a wall for. A coach that knows how to put players in positions to succeed. Why? Because he's been there and done that. A coach who has been through the gauntlet and understands everything that today's player is going through. A coach that is motivational. A coach that will lead them to the promised land. A coach who would be the heartbeat of the team. I mean, this is the fourth season of the LeBron James era, and we still don't even have an identity. We don't have a heartbeat. We don't have a pulse. That starts with the coach. This is the city of Los Angeles. He needs to have a presence, not Frank Vogel. And to me, all of those characteristics only come down to one man. And it's an obvious choice. And I'm really getting tired of all these sports talking heads acting like he's not sitting right there and he don't exist. And that coach is Mark Jackson. Period. There is no plan B, plan C. His name is Mark Jackson. He's the only coach with the star power and the presence to walk into that locker room and say, LeBron, I need you to do this. AD, I need you to do this. Malik Monk, I'm going to let you out of this cage and let you dominate the game the way you want. That's Mark Jackson. Period. And if no one in Laker management is pointing out the obvious things that I just broke down, and I feel like something is wrong, and it goes past the coach. It goes straight to the top. And that's why I decided to record this video, man, because the fix is so easy, it shouldn't have taken this long to get this done. So with that said, whether this reaches the top or not, I don't know. But I figure, hey, it's worth a shot, right? We need changes, and we need changes now. With all that's going on in the world right now that I don't even need to list, we all know we got a pandemic going on, people losing their jobs, inflation going on. At the end of the day, people just want to be able to come home with their family and enjoy a good ball game. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask. And we're paying for this product. Like, come on, man. Changes have to happen, and they need to happen yesterday. There is only one man that can walk in this locker room and fix this team. He needs to be hired yesterday. The Lakers can have a quick mini camp during the All-Star break and come out and dominate the second half of this season. The fix is so simple, it's embarrassing. All it requires is one phone call, and you'll see this team overnight begin to dominate the way they're supposed to. So what's the holdup? Fans are tired of waiting. So I feel like if no one in Laker management can clearly identify what's going on with this team, and I can sitting in my living room, then maybe you need to contact me. Trust and believe I can get this going in the right direction. I'm out.